Hello and welcome to another episode. Today I wanted to talk about a little bit about storytelling. This light is kind of bright in my face, but I'm gonna work around this lighting in my face. Like I've said this before on a video. I have new scoping gear, so this light is kind of bright, so I kind of like tilt my head down or something. But nonetheless, welcome to another episode. And today is going to be about all about storytelling. I was I've been doing, this whole blogging and network marketing thing. I've been doing my business, not just this blogging or network marketing. I have to change my vocabulary when it comes to my business and not sound like it's a hobby, right? I have to make it is a business. I run a business, so I need to start talking about it and addressing it as a business and not like a hobby. So I've been doing this for a year, or a little over a year. No, okay, let's back up. I've been in network marketing since the age of 19. I've been actively marketing businesses maybe since 2000 and about 2007. I've been actively marketing businesses since 2007. And the whole time I've been marketing, I've been blaming the system itself, or if I'm not blaming the business, I'm blaming other outside factors as to why I wasn't having much success in the businesses that I ran. Now, I did run one and was, I loved it. I loved what I was doing. I just didn't love the fact that I still had to spend a whole lot of time outside of my house doing this business. Other than that, I loved the business, but it was still, even though I loved what I was doing, I liked it a whole lot. I really did. And it is one of those businesses where you hear people saying, you better go to conferences, and those live events are amazing. They're life changing. This is one of those businesses where I actually did that. I went to the live events. I went to the trainings because I really thoroughly enjoyed what I did. I just didn't like a whole lot of working outside of my house. I wanted to work from home and having home parties and spending, 10, 20 hours outside of the house every week was just no different than me having a part-time job at Burger King or McDonald's as far as I was concerned, because I had to get up and actually pack up all the stuff that I would use in my home parties and then take it with me, unpack it at the party, and then pack it all back up and transport it all back in the house when I was done. The whole reason I just did that, you guys, is I just told you a story. I just told you a story. That's how simple storytelling can be inside your business. I just told you what I was going to talk about, and I just went into a story. It was that simple. You see, the transition was that simple. So today's video is about storytelling, and you have to be able to tell a story, capture your audience attention, and tell a story, especially, when you're an entrepreneur, or, any business for that matter. If you ever went on to someone's website, I don't care what product or service that they offer, I I particularly go on there and I go look for the About Me page. I want to know who it is that I'm dealing with. I want to know what kind of, if it's a private practice doctor, I want to look at, or a dentist, I'm looking at your About page. If it's a product or service, like, something being promoted on the internet, and then I want to know more about it before I spend my money, I will go to that company's website and look at the About Me page. Like, I want to know who it is that I'm working with, whether it's I'm working with them and I'm spending my money, or they're coming to me needing some guidance or some help in some type of way. I want to know who I'm working with. And most of the time, your story is what's going to sell for you. I know everyone's heard of, stories, facts tell, stories sell. Well, that's especially true in your business, because when you're doing this, you need to give people a sense of who you are. And if you've seen my videos or my periscopes, or that's really what I do, videos and periscope, like my YouTube videos and stuff like that. If you've seen those, you've heard this a number of times from me since I've been making videos. Is that it is important. People need to know who you are. People need to be able to, get to know, like, and trust you. And what better way now to do that than through video marketing, right? If people can get a sense, like, that's why I loved, at first when I first started, and my mentor told me that I need to shoot videos, I was like, no way, Jose. Or that's honestly, me being real, I was like, hell no. That's what I really said, and things have become a whole lot easier, and talking to people has become a whole lot easier for me, because people in videos, people can get to know me, and have a sense of what my character is, who I am as a person. And they get to know that, and especially on Periscope, they get to know that because they hear me talking. They hear my stories. They hear, where I came from. Most people, when you're in marketing, most people think that, you know, this person is having this much success. They must have it must have been easy. It must have been easy for them. And they don't know what happened in that backstory, of that person. Or some people are like, you know, I don't really have a story to tell. I'm running a business, but I didn't grow up with a rough background. I didn't grow up in the hood, or I wasn't molested, or I wasn't raped, or I wasn't physically abused by my parents. So I really don't have one of those gut wrenching stories that I hear people saying from the stage of how they got started. They have these gut wrenching stories that captivate you, and make you feel some type of way listening. And for those people who say, I don't have that kind of story, so no one's going to want to listen. Well, that's not true. Not every person in business came from a rough background. Not every person in business had a silver spoon in their mouth, and had it easy growing up. Everybody has it rough in some capacity. I don't care what kind of environment you grow up in, how much money you grew up having. We all have problems. We all have some issues. We all have a story. And right now, if you're struggling, or you were struggling marketing your business, right now, that's your story. You can go tell people exactly what it was like prior to you starting business, what it's like now in the process of learning how to run a business, or if you've had some success, what it was like before the success happened. That's your story. No one can tell your story better than you can tell it. No one can write your story for you. You can tell your story. You're the best narrator of your story. And it doesn't matter, again, it does not matter what background you came from. It does not matter if you did not grow up having it rough, and your mom had terminal cancer, and you guys went out and spent all your money, had to put your house up for mortgage, and to pay her medical bills, and went without food, and had to eat noodles every single day for 6 months, and bologna sandwiches. Like, some people have it like that. Some people do. Some people don't. So it doesn't matter if you grew up, rich, if you grew up poor, if you grew up, and the struggle was real or not, because everybody has some type of struggle. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Everyone has a story to tell. And if you're not out here telling your story of how you went from where you were, where you are, and where you intend to be, and if you don't tell it, you're kind of robbing people that you're intending to help. Because a lot of times, again, people look at those people on top and say, man, it must have been easy. They must have had it easy. or something, because it's so hard for me. The struggle is so real, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know how to tell my story that makes it sound compelling enough for people to want to listen. People will listen, and those that don't want to listen, so what? So what? Don't those people aren't the people you wanted to be around you in your circle, or even work with. If those are the type of people that are commenting about your story, so what? So what? Because none of us are perfect. Everybody has issues, and everyone has a story to tell. So think about that. Go out and seriously think about what it is that is your story, and how you can tell that and use that in business. Because if you go to my website, I have an about me page, and most leaders, if you're a leader in your particular space, they have about me pages. They're telling what it is, or where they came from, how they got to where they are. If you just go and look. And one of the biggest things that we do, and I've learned from my mentor, since she's been my mentor since November of 2014, one of the first things that she was teaching me was about storytelling. And I'm like, I don't, I don't have a story to tell. I mean, I do, and it wasn't until after, some soul searches, some training, some education, self development, that I realized that my story is just as important as, those top earners in my particular company. My story is just as important as your story is, and you have to figure out a way to go out there and use telling your stories to your advantage in selling your business. It could be, again, because telling your stories, it helps, it sells. Now, if you're in business, you do webinars to teach you things, and we do webinars every week. And if you ever been on one of our webinars, I don't care which webinar it is of ours that you've been on, if you've ever been on one of our Wednesdays or Thursday webinars, one of the things that I've learned from my mentor right out the gate was that when you host a webinar, you want to tell your story. You want to get people interested in why they should listen to you. If you're going out and say, I'm a professional in this particular niche, and you should listen to me, why? Why? You just shouldn't tell people to just listen. Why should they be listening to you? Why? They need to know. People, we nosy. Like real life, people, we are nosy. Human beings are nosy. Nosy as hell. And we want to know what we want to know when we want to know it. That's just how we are. Right? And you get a sense of who this person is, and you see it in every single webinar. People will start out their webinars by telling you, what it is that you came for, what they're going to teach you. And then the next thing that they're going to do is tell you who they are. They are going to share their story with you. So you know exactly who you're dealing with, where they came from, where they are now in their business. Everyone can do that. Storytelling should be one of the easiest marketing strategies, because you know your story. You know it. You know it better than anyone else because you lived it, right? You lived it. So you know it better than anyone else. Use that to your advantage. Go out there and really think about what it is that you bring to your particular niche, what your skill sets are, and use your story with those skill sets to your advantage. Start telling your story. And that's my message for you guys for today. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. Also, if you would like, I also started, I'm going to mention this every video I get, and from now on, I am going to mention that I have officially started a monthly newsletter, and it features a entrepreneur of the month or business person of the month. And if you guys are interested and want your story told and get eyes that may not have been over already on your business, if you would like, I promote a lot on Periscope. My email list don't know you, they know me. but they don't know you. But they will in my newsletter. So think of it as some free advertising for yourself and your business. So if you're interested in working with me and getting your story out there in my monthly newsletter, don't hesitate to come on over and click on the About or the Work with Jovan tab somewhere on my website. I'm up there somewhere on my website. Go ahead and click on it. If you guys are seeing this on any other platform outside of my website, go visit me over at teamlimegreen.com and click on the Work with Jovan tab, and then you can get a hold of me and we can start talking about you and your business and putting you in my newsletter as maybe one of the entrepreneurs of the month. So that is my message for you guys today. I hope